What's going on, y'all? Today we're going to talk about the quartering. See, apparently, someone who used to work with him, Sydney Watson, she spoke out, and it's bad. Let's check this out. We're going to be getting the clips from a channel called Grifter. We're going to get straight into it, too, as well. It's a lot of horrible stuff. Damn, quartering. In high school, you was the man, quartering. What happened to you? That was a quote from 50 Cent. 1927. That is not the correct date.
So she said she didn't want to come on the show for a certain reason. And it's because the quartering has threatened her directly with something. Okay. And the other person, there's another person involved. There's multiple people involved that have threatened her with something. Okay. So she didn't want to do it. Now, this changes pretty quickly. I'm going to be honest. And we start getting pretty much in the nitty gritty. I said, of course, that's what I imagined. I kind of got the vibe there was a bad falling out because, she alluded to that immediately from the beginning. She says, yes, I fucking hate him, which I was like, oh. He literally could have made me less of an enemy if he just shut his fat fucking face when damn, but he could not help himself. I said all this happened because of his own words, and she's like, I would love to come on, but I'm intensely private. Jeremy, I'm paraphrasing, he knows some information and that she doesn't want out, and he keeps threatening to basically dox all of her information if she ever speaks out about any of it. Or I said, you're right about that. As someone right in the middle of the stuff, Jeremy has little to no recourse. No one believes anything he says, but you're right. Better safe than sorry. Because Jeremy is obviously going to make up stuff left and right and center. She says he's such a liar. He used to call me drunk too, say all kinds of shit. And we're going to get to that, by the way. I got to the point where I had to record all of our calls because he says all this crap and then immediately walks it back the next day. So I said, I think he's trying to garner sympathy or something. Dude's a strange dude. He claimed he's going to expose me on X and then walks it back the next day. Just like he did with Craig, just like he did with everybody else. Yellow Flash, he's going to scorch earth and expose all of us. She says he gets drunk, talks insane shit, then he sobers up and realizes it's a bad idea.
That's crazy. Drunk calling is nasty work. And ain't the quartering like married? Too many things stacking up on top of each other that just make him look like a horrible piece of crap. But I got a feeling it's going to get worse. But yeah, if you're employing someone, you shouldn't be drunk calling them and trying to do or say anything crazy, right? If you work with someone in general, you shouldn't be doing that either. So yeah, either way, he was going way too far and bugging out.
So Jeremy claimed that he gave Sydney Watson $250,000 and she just pocketed the money. She pocketed it, boys. She just kept the money and just betrayed Jeremy for no reason. Actually, one thing I do want to put on the record, despite the lies Jeremy told, I was the only person who never got paid a single cent when the Publica thing was happening. Jeremy might have fronted the whole thing financially, but also every dollar went to him. And when I asked to see the books, he'd give me the runaround. Or when I asked if I could buy him out, he kept insisting I give him 100 or 200K. He pulled these random numbers out of his ass. What caused me to start to diss myself and dislike him immensely actually had to do with my tea company. You guys ready? When I was gearing up to launch, he said he would do my fulfillment for me from his 3PL. So we had a lot of phone conversations about costs, etc. He said he wasn't trying to make money off of me, and I said, great. Maybe we can help you get better shipping rates for your coffee with the increased quantity of shipments, including my tea. I don't expect people to make $0, but I understand business. I thought it was so cool he prepared to break even to help me. Like, wow, it's awesome, right? We agreed on $250 per box. We took this to mean per completed box. He ended up charging me $2.50 per item. He was charging her 5 times more. So I'm in it for $18 just to get a single package shipped with him. Even in the most expensive places, $2.50 per item is insane. So my first bill from him was fucking lunacy. And it was my entire profit margin. When I asked him about this, he said, you should have structured your business better. There was no negotiating with him either. His attitude was basically suck it. So I pulled my product. He so kindly offered to pay to have it shipped to Texas. I think he paid half, but it cost me thousands of dollars to get it back here. And he crippled my fledgling business all so he can make a few extra bucks. All right, there we go. He has threatened to sue me, leak my DMs, dox her basically. You know, like the thing that Jeremy claims people are doing to him. He claims people are doing this to him. That's what he intended on doing to Sydney Watson. That's what he threatened her with. He was going to expose all of the personal, private people in her life. And then also sue her, I guess.
Yeah, the quartering's nasty. That's even worse. So it wasn't like she was his employee. She was supposed to be a partner, and he still tried to get over on her. Oh, man, that's horrible. What the hell is wrong with the quartering? Bro, it just seems like every day is something new when it comes to him being exposed for his nasty behavior, bro. Wow. I used to watch him and I stopped watching him a while ago because I could kind of tell that there was like a change going on, right? Like the mask was slipping and then the grifting was increasing. But I didn't think it was going to be this bad. This is horrible.
I asked specifically, did he ever imply or do anything creepy like in these drunk calls or anything? Thinking back to the Ren Fair stuff and how he acts. She responded, yes. She said, when we first met in 2021-ish, he was in Dallas for some event and we all went to a bar. I met a dude that night who I went on to a date. And that guy and I talked the whole time. I drove Jeremy back to his hotel with two other people in the car. The whole time he was going on about how he wanted to fight the guy I was talking to and basically saying he'd fight him for me. He'd get drunk and randomly text me boobs or some similar shit. But yeah, I perceived what he was doing, at least in the early days, as hitting on me. And I made it super clear I'm not interested.
Yeah, on the way home, Jeremy was telling me that he's going to beat this guy up and he's going to fight him. And I was like, what's giving you this indication that you're going to fight another man to, I guess, for me, like not for me as on behalf of me, but for me as in to conquer, to take the woman back to cave. Like that was the vibe. And I was like, dude, I don't know what's giving you the indication that this is acceptable behavior, because at that point, you know, he'd been cool. Like, you know, he'd been someone who I was talking to about other relationships. We'd sort of talked about bits and bobs to do with our personal lives and things. And I was like, oh, this is like a friend. This is a friend, not someone who's interested in me. And that was when I was like, oh, Christ, no, sir, no.
Yeah, that's nasty work right there. Whoa. Going over lines like a mother effer. So you just decide, hey, I'm going to fight for her honor. Yeah, and if I win, she comes home with me. What about your wife? What about your wife? So we gonna pretend like she don't exist? Y'all are colleagues, bro. You should have minded your business. The moment you seen her getting some play, you should have went on with your day. Okay, I didn't mean for that to rhyme. That's crazy. That's why I just played a nasty song.
Yeah. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, yeah. You know your name. You
out of pocket. The quartering is on a different level of falling off. Like I've seen people fall off before, but this is steep. I don't know if he gonna climb up. That's why he keeps stealing content and doing these nasty shorts where he's taking other people's stuff and just saying, hey, look at this, and playing someone else's video. You ain't gonna add nothing. You ain't gonna stop it, do some commentary at all. No, you're just gonna keep milking the shorts algorithm. Well, we see what happened to Just Pearly Things. See how it worked for her.
Do you know anything about this weird situation in his personal life with this bull guy?
I don't. And I think, like I said, this to me is the sort of territory I don't want to get into, because as much as I don't like Jeremy and I think he's a butthole, and I know he's going to, like, I'm going to just say this ahead of time, he is going to lose his shit about me saying any of this. And like, as soon as you started this stream and I was tuning in, I was like, oh, I'm fucked. Like, I'm fucked. So one of the things he's threatened me with is that a girl I formerly worked with, things didn't go well. We had a fallout. She leaked a bunch of private chats to him where I trashed the shit out of him. And I want that to be really clear. I said some not nice stuff. So yeah, I was a very, very nasty person in DMs to friends of mine, just by the way, just mates of mine that I trusted implicitly. Well, silly me, I guess. So DMs were leaked to him. And when the Publica was ending, one of the things that we wanted to do, because I love the team, I called everybody that I knew who could possibly connect me with an investor. I ended up meeting somebody just by chance at an event. And he was like, yeah, I'll help you fundraise to start a new project. And so at this point, Jeremy was constantly calling me going, oh, you owe me hundreds of thousands of dollars for this website. And I was so stressed out. I was in the middle of this lawsuit. I was in a weird place financially. Like, I definitely didn't have a ton of money. And so I said to him, I made out like my financial position was worse than it was in order to extricate myself. I wanted him to feel bad. And I wanted him to be like, oh, I'm doing her a favor. I get to wear my nice guy hat and let her go from this project. And he did. And he did. And, you know, I know that's manipulative and I know that, but that's the thing that's been eating at me that I don't want him to expose. I totally did that.
Yeah, the quartering's pretty shifty as far as I'm concerned, fam. I've heard enough for me to say, I wouldn't want to be around them. I'm cool. I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be similar, right? I just will stay in whatever lane that I am, building my audience. Shout outs to you guys, the Fang Gang. And then I'm cool, because I'm never going to let success change my character and have me out here wilding out in these streets. That's crazy. But tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Hit the like button, share more videos, and watch more videos, all that other stuff. Appreciate you guys. Oh, and join my Discord. The link should be in the description if I remember to put it there.